Ever wanted to make a layered cocktail but thought it was way too tricky? Well, the Top Deck cocktail does all the work for you. It layers itself. Let me show you just how easy and delicious it is. Hey everyone, so today we're continuing on with our Bailey's series of cocktails and we'll be making the Top Deck. What we'll need for today's cocktail is Bailey's Irish cream, caramel syrup, chocolate powder, absolute vanilla vodka, and thick cream. Now I've divided these up basically into two groups because we're going to be making a layered drink that we actually don't need to layer, so it's very, very easy and I'm going to show you how. But the first group is the Bailey's, the caramel syrup, the chocolate powder. The second group is the vanilla vodka and the cream. And Bailey's, is a fantastic product, and it was invented by Tom Jagg, who headed a team back in 1974, and they were trying to produce a product for the international market, and Bailey's Irish cream is what they came up with. And because it was specifically formulated for women, they wanted a product that included Irish whiskey but didn't have the harsh taste of whiskey. So they wanted it to be smooth. And they came up with a winner because it's still a fantastic liqueur and it's loved worldwide. It also was the first ever cream liqueur. So the thing is, you don't have to put Bailey's in a cocktail. My mother loved Bailey's. That was probably her favourite drink, and she just used to have it over ice. She would drink it usually after some celebratory meal, which mainly was at lunchtime, like say Christmas Day or Mother's Day, or any other sort of celebratory family, or if we had guests drink. And she'd just have one Bailey's over ice and she really loved it. And you know what? I can see why. So if that's what you want to do, I'm just going to show you how easy it is to do that. All you need is a glass. I've just got a rocks glass here. And you need some ice. Okay, and then you just pour as much Bailey's as you like in the glass. If you're just trying this for the first time, I just put a little bit and see how you go. You can always add to it. Okay, let's give it a moment or two to get a bit cold. You could even give it a bit of a stir if you want to make it a bit more chilled. Let's have a taste. That is delicious. But if you want to take things further, let's make the Top Deck. So what we'll need, and we're going to have to reuse the cocktail shaker because we're going to have two parts of this cocktail. So let's start with the first part. Need some ice. Don't forget to leave some ice in there for the second part. Okay, now we are going to need 30 mils or 1 ounce of Bailey's. $15 mils or half an ounce of caramel syrup, and I bet you I haven't opened this. Sure enough, really good over ice cream too, which I'm sure you know. Don't use for ice cream, maybe syrup for coffee perhaps. Okay, it's a little bit tricky to get this stuff out. Of course, that's too big, we'll just use the end. It's very thick, which is what we want. Now we just need 1 teaspoon. I'm just using a bar spoon because it's the same as a teaspoon, so may as well, hey? Of chocolate powder. Now the chocolate powder I've just made by mixing 1 part cocoa powder and 2 parts sugar with a little tiny bit of salt. Okay, so what we need to do now, of course, is shake. I think that should do it. I'm just going to use the top of the lid today because I just think it's easier for this style of cocktail where we want it to be in layers. When you pull them, there's the ice kind of gets a bit stuck. All right, so now we'll rinse this out. You don't need to give it a full wash, just a rinse will do, because ultimately everything's going to end up in the same glass, so it doesn't matter too much. We just don't want it to be mixed because otherwise we'll lose the layered effect. I'm cheating a bit because I've got another clean jigger, but you could just easily rinse out the other one and use that, but I just wanted to use the 60 mils because that's what I need for the cream. Anyway, what we need now is some ice. You can use the rest of the ice now, it's safe, but you don't have to either. So what we need is 30 mils of absolute vanilla vodka. Why does it have to be absolute? I don't really know, but that's what is in the recipe, and it also happens to be my favourite vanilla vodka. In fact, my favourite vodka is absolute vanilla vodka, so there you go. So 30 mils of vanilla vodka, which is the same as 1 ounce. And we need 60 mils or 2 ounces of thick cream. I think thick cream is pretty much the best one to use because I don't think we'll get the effect if it's a thinner cream because it might sink to the bottom. I don't know what the science is about that, but I think this should be better. Maybe it's the opposite and we'll find out in a minute. Okay. Let's give this a hard shake. We're going to give it a hard shake because we sort of want it to really mix up really well and get quite cold. Hopefully, and get, probably the most important part is get a whole lot of air in there so that it sits on the top. Moment of truth. I'm going to very carefully pour this in very gently. Let's see what happens. It should separate. Magic. Look at that. How good is that? I don't know if you have this in other countries, but in Australia we have what's called Cadbury family blocks, which are quite big 200-gram blocks of chocolate in a million different flavours. One of the most popular flavours is called Top Deck. And what that is you've got the milk chocolate on the bottom and the white chocolate on the top. And that is exactly the effect this drink is trying to create, and voila, it succeeds. I'm really happy with that. I think that looks really good. You can see, I don't know if you can see properly, but it's definitely got 2 layers. So let's give this a taste. Of course, it's not going to be mixed, but I think that doesn't matter. I think that just adds to the deliciousness of this drink. Wow, wow, wow. That is so good and definitely a great use of that bottle of Baileys. Have you got a bottle of Baileys at the back of your cupboard? Well, if you do, I'd say try making this cocktail. And if you want to do something simple with it, or maybe in between having cocktails, you know, like on a different night or whatever, just make the Baileys over ice. That's always a good thing to have, and it's not, you know, it's not too much. I mean, if you have 10 of them, you will have the effect because it is 17% ABV, so it's not exactly as innocent as it looks or tastes. Anyway, thanks so much for making this cocktail with me, or for just looking at ways to use your Baileys up, and please tell me how it goes in the comments. I'd love to know. And I'll see you next week for another cocktail, and again, it will be a Baileys cocktail, so cheers, happy weekend.